So joining us now to talk about this cold air is Dr. Nicholas Cozzi, EMS Medical Director at Rush University Medical Center in Chicago. Thanks for being with us this morning. Of Chicago, you guys have already had your fair share of cold air, but this blast is a little bit different. So how quickly can frostbite or even hypothermia set in with temperatures we'll see in the single digits for many hours leading up to this game?
Good morning, Kelly and Paul, and welcome. And I'm coming to you from Chicago, currently negative 13 on the wind chill. And it's a great question. We have a lot of great games. The Bears are playing Cleveland today at noon, as you mentioned. Hypothermia, frostbite, frost nip, those are things where minutes matter. Hypothermia can take minutes to hours. When you think about frost nip, that temporary, and then frostbite, the permanent, irreversible, those things are we have to be very concerned about. But frost nip, if you're exposed to the weather, that could take place in minutes.
So what are the signs people need to watch out for that they could be in trouble and need medical attention?
So when we think of frost nip, we always have to have our extremities, our hands, our fingers, our ears, our nose. Those things have to be covered. That is where you feel that burning sensation, that pins and needles sensation. That could take place in minutes. Again, that's reversible. That's temporary. When we think of frostbite, we think of the blistering. We think of the extreme pain. And that's really where that could take place in minutes to hours. That is where you need to be seeking medical attention immediately. But the most important thing for your viewers, we have to wear layers and we have to keep everything as warm as possible.
Yeah, so again, a lot of people want to show their kind of team spirit. We have the cold game there in Chicago as well as one in Cincinnati this afternoon, even pretty chilly in Kansas City. What's your suggestions for fans to stay safe if they head out to tailgate and go to the game?
It's a great question. We want to enjoy responsibly. If you are of age and you are willing, we have to make sure we're having alcohol in a moderate form. When you feel that sensation, seek indoors immediately. A lot of the sports venues today and this weekend will have areas of warming. Hot chocolate will be extremely important. This is not the time to, when I think about the 1970s and 80s with people not wearing shirts out, I'm sure we'll see some of that, but don't be one of those people, right, Paul?
Exactly.
And what about just, drinking warm or, hot liquids and, things like that? How do you get a person to warm up safely?
That's a great question, Kelly. Yes, absolutely. Warm liquids will be important. So again, that hot chocolate will be essential. But just making sure if you're tailgating, you're trying to keep indoors as much as possible. Hand warmers, layers, not the time to wear just jeans. You want to have really kind of a long underwear and long pants on underneath, and 2 pairs of socks. Again, we want to make sure the back of our neck, if you have the hood, well, that would be important for the wind chill, your fingers and toes, as well as your ears. You want everything covered. This is the time to enjoy, potentially once in a lifetime opportunity, but do it in the right way and do it in the responsible way.
Responsible. Doctor, we have about 30 seconds left here. What about alcohol? Because that tends to think people are warmed up by kind of drinking more, but that could be the opposite effect.
It can be the opposite effect. We see alcohol as a numbing sensation for those who have experienced that type of situation. So ultimately, yes, you can drink alcohol. It can be in moderation, but we have to make sure, because that can blunt your senses and ultimately lead to some bad decisions, and we don't want that today.